Okay, so in this session we'll create a program to add field catalog. In the previous session we have created a program using ALV reports to display data based on the structure or table, right? We are not customizing the report output. We are just be able to display whatever the field available in the structure or a table without any output customization. Okay, the report headings will come from data element field labels, and the text will display as report headings like long, short, and medium text. Right? If you expand the column, we observe that the text will automatically change from short to medium and medium to long. Okay, so let's create one more program. Today we'll use a field catalog option. What is the use of field catalog? What is the use of field catalog?
We can customize the output.
We can customize the report output. Okay, we can customize the report output, so we can change the report heading text, right? We can highlight any specific fields. We can add hotspot symbols for the any specific fields, right? We can change the order of the columns. We can achieve all of this using a field catalog, right? Let me find our existing program so that we'll just change our program to add field catalog. Looks like ART. No. Okay, let's create the program. Yeah, looks like the old programs are not here. Create the program. My focus is mainly on the ALV report, not on the rest of the business logic and everything. Okay, so I'm not modularizing for today just to save some time. That's it. But when you are creating the program, you should modularize the code and you should call the output in a ALV format. Okay. Initialization to populate the default input value input parameters. At selection screen is to validate. Start of selection is to implement the business logic, right? To validate if there is any modularization unit, I'll just try to call it Z validate customer. It is already, we have already created it, right? Or let me find any program where we are calling that modularization unit. Z validate customer, right? Let's find where is the list so that we can find all the programs where we are using where is the list. Okay. Yep. So instead of creating a new program, we'll modularize this program, right? So because our main concentration is on ALV reports, right? The rest of the business functionality and validations we are already aware of. So we have created a program. What are we doing here? We are using customer as input and validating the customer using a function module. We are calling that function module here to validate the customer. And in startup selection, instead of writing the business logic select statements, we created a function module and using that function module to display the output. Okay. First, let's test this program. Enter valid customer. What happened? And looks like there is a type. What is this runtime error? Please observe, it is very important when you are working on function modules and ALV reports. What is this error? Why we got this runtime error? What is it saying? This runtime error. Where you can check these runtime errors?
ST2020.
ST22.
ST22. You can check these runtime errors. So when you are working in the support projects, right? It's very useful for you to identify the error, right? Whenever there is a runtime error in the system, you need to analyze the error. Why? The program is terminated with a runtime error, right? Because something is wrong in the program. So what is it saying? Error analysis. When calling the function module, an attempt was made to pass internal table LT sales order to formal parameter. What is formal parameter? And what is actual parameter? You've already discussed this when we are working on subroutines, formal parameter and actual parameter. Formal parameter is the function module importing parameter or exporting parameter, right? Formal parameter is the function module importing or exporting parameter. What is the actual parameter? Whatever the internal table or work areas we are passing in the program to that parameter, right? That is actual parameter. So what it is saying? Sorry. So the formal parameter, there is a type conflict, right, between formal parameter and actual parameter. We are passing a different type of actual parameter to the formal parameter. Okay. So let's go to the program and check. If you want to see the exact line where it is causing the issue, scroll down. You can see source code extract. It is showing some arrow symbol, right? So this is the line where it is causing the issue. When you are calling the function module, it is causing the issue. Now, how can you check this? It clearly says that there is a type conflict of this parameter, right? Exporting parameter is different. This is formal parameter. ET sales data is a formal parameter and LT sales data is a which parameter? Which parameter is this? LT sales data.
Actual parameter.
Say actual parameter. It is a formal parameter. Function module parameter is a formal parameter. Now, it is saying this actual formal parameter type is not matching with the actual parameter type. Let's check what is the type we are using in the function module for the formal parameter. Double click on the function module or open in SE37. Go to export. What is the type we are using? ZDemo T sales. And inside that we are using a structure ZDemo sales. It's a structure and it is a table type because we want to return the internal table like data, right? That's why we are using table type. Now let's check what is the type of actual parameter. Double click on this internal table. How you defined it? So what is the mistake here? What is the mistake here?
Instead
Observe
of
the declaration.
structure, here use the table.
So instead of structure, we have used the table type. So we can also use table type. Okay, we can also use table type. No issue, but we don't need to use a type table of. We don't need to use type table of, right? When you are using table type, it will act as a internal table. But if you are using structure, then we need to use this as type table of. That is the issue. Okay, you are using table type, but still you are using type table of. That's why it is considering it is not considering it as some internal table type, and there is a type conflict. Now check the program. It is displaying the output, right? It is working fine now. Is everyone clear? How to find the error, root cause of the error? You can check that in the ST22 runtime errors. Okay. Even later, if you go to ST22, you can identify the error. You can search the errors by date by providing specific date. If you want to see errors which occurred in the past, right? Or if you want to see only today's errors, click here. How can you find the error which is occurred in the program, your program? This one called program, sorry, cancelled program. You can see this program name to identify where that error is occurred. Okay. If you double click on this, you can see more details about the error. Okay. Mostly error analysis will tell you what is the issue, and if you go to source code extract, it will tell you which line of code it is causing the errors, in which line of code it is causing the errors by checking this arrow mark. Okay. And if you want to see data, what is the current data available in variables like different system variables or internal tables before the program is being terminated? You can go to content of system variables, contents of system variables. You can check here. Okay, you can check the values of the system variables before the program is being terminated. Okay, SY title, it is program title. Okay, so these are all the values available for the system variables, and this is chosen variables. If you go to chosen variables, what you can find here, this is the customer you entered, right? So the values whatever available in the internal table data, you can find it in the chosen variables part. Okay, so by using this all these inputs, you can identify the root cause of the errors. Okay, where or what which record causing the errors, you can also identify. Now we are just displaying a basic output, right, using CLDemo output. Now what we need to do, we need to convert this data into ALV report. For final output, did we create any structure for final output?
No.
This is our final output, right? Sales data. Double click. We have a structure, right? ZDemo sales. These are from two different tables, right? VBLN, VBAK, VBAP, and
Yes,
matter.
maybe.
It's a final output structure, right? It's a final output structure. So we can make use of this final output structure to display the ALV. Instead of using CLDemo output, still we don't need to build the field catalog because we have a data dictionary structure with the final output, right? This is our final output structure. Use this structure to display the output. Now what you need to do, instead of CLDemo output, call what is the function module to display the ALV?
Please.
Reuse ALV grid display or list display. Enable the exporting. You don't need this. These are all the optional parameters. You need to choose which parameter is required. SY-REP-ID, report name. PF status is not required. I'll remove rest of the parameters because we are not going to use. Okay. Structure name. What is the structure name we need to pass? Whatever the structure we have defined for this final output. Okay. Sorry. In the output tab, we need to pass this final output. In output tab, we need to pass this final output. In the structure name, the corresponding structure of this internal table. What is the corresponding structure of this internal table?
JDMO sales.
Pass in the uppercase. Please make sure this in the uppercase, right? So whatever the work area, whatever the structure or table we are using to define this internal table, right? We need to use same structure here. Okay. Now let's check the program. Activate. Here we are not customizing any report output. We are just displaying the data as it is, as per the structure. We are able to display the output, right? When you expand this, it will automatically display data from where field labels. Okay. But if you want to have custom report headers like this, I don't want text from the data elements. I want my customer wants a different report text, heading text. I cannot achieve it directly, or we should not change the data element field labels. To do that, what we need to do? We need to
Use
use
the
a
field catalog
field
option.
catalog. We need to use field catalog to customize the report output. Okay. What is the other need of field catalog? Let's say there is no structure here. There is no structure. We are just using a local type structure. Types begin of, end of, and we have listed out all the fields required. Then, if we do, since we don't have a structure for the final output, since we don't have a data dictionary structure for the final output, we cannot use structure name here, and we cannot display data in the ALV output. In that case also we need to go for field catalog. Okay. To customize the report output, or when we are using a local type structure in the program for the final output. In both cases, we need to use a field catalog option. How to define a field catalog? To define a field catalog, there is one prerequisite. What is a type group?
Slice.
SLIS is the type group which we use for ALV reports. What is the use of type group? What is the use of type group? What is a type group?
It is a group of all type structures.
Yes, it's a type group contains reusable type structures, right? Reusable type structures are constants also available, whatever we can reuse. Okay. If you open the type group, where can we open? SC11. Select type group option, enter SLIS, display. Since it is a standard type group, we cannot change it. What you can find here? Types, all type declarations, right? Types begin of, end of, and corresponding table type. They have defined the type structures and table types. How can you manually create a table type like this? Using types syntax. You can manually create a table type using types. Okay. So it contains reusable type structures. To use field catalog, we need to define one work area and one internal table for the field catalog structure. So this field catalog structure contains different fields like field name, what is a short description, what is a medium description, what is a long description, and all these things we have in the field catalog structure. To use field catalog, first we need to define field catalog structures. What is the reference type for the field catalog structure? How can you find what is the reference type for the field catalog structure? One simple way is go to the ALV function module, open ALV function module, go to import parameters, there is one parameter for field catalog, right? There is one parameter for field catalog. What is the type it is using? There is associated type, right? Is it a table type or structure?
Table type.
How can you say it's a table type?
Name convention structure.
Yeah, naming convention by looking at this name, right?
Yes, sir.
Slice underscore t underscore field catalog. So we can assume it as a table type, but that is not 100% confirm. But usually when we see this naming convention, we should assume that as a table type. But to confirm that, double click on it. Types. It is defined using types. That means it is a table type. Okay. Now, how to define your structure? This is the corresponding structure. This is the line type. So in SE11, when you are creating the table type, what is the input you are passing? Line type, right? Line type nothing but structure name. Right? Line type nothing but structure name. This is the structure and this is the table type. To define the work area, you need to use a structure name. To define the internal table for the field catalog, you can either use a table type or structure, right? Let's copy this. Go back to the program. How to define a internal table and work area per table type? Data, define one work area, ls underscore field cat type. This one work area is defined. How to define an internal table? Type. Is it a structure or table type? Whatever we are using here. It's a field catalog structure, not the table type. That's why we need to use the type standard table of
Table.
structure name. Okay. Now your field catalog structure is ready. But what is inside this field catalog structure? What are the fields? If you take select option structure, what are the fields available in select option structure?
Sign option.
Sign option, low, high, right? Similarly,
Yes.
for field catalog also, there are specific fields available in this structure to achieve different properties, different functionalities. How can you check that? Double click on the structure. It is a type structure for the structure, reference type structure for the structure. In this type structure, they have included two different type structures. They are reusing other type structures to include to create a one main type structure. Okay. If you double click on the type structure inside this is nothing but a type structure. How can you reuse the type structure? How can you add one type structure to another type structure? By using include type. So that all the fields part of this type structure will be automatically added to this main type structure. Okay. Double click on the type structure. What are the fields available here? Row position, column position. What is this field column position? We need to pass number, right? Field name and number. What is column position? To arrange the columns in a required sequence, we use this column position, right? For the first field, we pass 0, 1. For the second column, we pass 0, 2, like that. We arrange the columns in a specific order, not like the structure order. When we use structure, right? The columns order is depends on the structure, right? How we maintain the fields in the structure, it will display in the same order, right? But if you want to change the order of the columns, we need to use column position field. Okay, we need to pass specific value for this field name. What is the field name? You are trying to set these properties. Okay, for each record we need to pass field name and the column position to arrange the columns in a specific order. There are few more fields. If you want to make it as a key column, if you want to highlight a specific column as a key column or important column or a primary key column, you need to pass key equal to x. What is the type of this? char length 1, right? Most of the times we need to pass ABAP true or false for these kind of fields. Okay, ABAP true means X, false means blank. Okay, you can pass either X or you can just pass ABAP true. Okay, checkbox, if you want to make any specific field as display as checkbox, right, you need to pass ABAP true for the checkbox field, right? All these fields part of field catalog structure. And if you want to change the selection screen text, report header text, we need to make use of these three. One is for short description, one is for medium description, and one is for long description. Here we need to pass our own report heading. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear? Let's go to the program. Let's go back to the program, and what we need to do now? We need to populate the field catalog structure. Field catalog structure. How many of you know how to append records to an internal table? How many of you know how to populate records to the internal table? No one?
By using append.
Yeah, you know, right? You know, right? How to add records to the internal table. If you know
Yes, by
that,
using append.
yes, if
Collect inside.
yeah, if you know that, field catalog is nothing. It is just appending records to the internal table and populating the values. By populating the work area values, append that work area to final output, or sorry, field catalog internal table. We did this when we are working on final output, looping through different tables and populate the record into final and append it to internal table. We are already familiar with this. Now we need to first populate the field catalog structure, that means work area, before calling the ALV report. Before calling the ALV report, we need to do this. Okay, what are the fields we need to populate? If it is a select option, we know what are the fields: sign, option, low, high. If it is a field catalog,
Column position.
field name is one. This is mandatory. You're saying that for which field you are trying to, which properties, what are the properties you are setting for a specific fields. What is the field? VBELN. In which position you wanted to display? I remember the column name is COLPOS, I think. Or if you don't know the column names, go to we have already opened the function module somewhere, right? Or go to the type group, display the type group. You can find for the field catalog structure. Okay, I think this is the field catalog structure. No, not this. This one, field catalog and main. This is one of the type structure we are using for the field catalog. Column row position. So row position we are not using. COLPOS. Yes, COLPOS. For this, what is the type of this? What is the data type of this? Double click of the reference type. Integer, right? Since it is an integer, how we need to pass the value? In single quotes or direct value?
Directory.
If you pass it in the single quotes, it will consider it as a character type value, and
Character
it
type.
may throw some type conflicts. Okay.
Yes.
What is the next field we need to pass? Rest of the fields I will see later. I want to make it as a
Short.
key column. Okay, I want to highlight VBLN as a key column, or there is another option to emphasize it. Emphasize means it will highlight with a specific color. Okay, you can also use emphasize or key column. If you use key column, also it will highlight this field with a specific color. What is the type of this key column? Character 1, right? That means most probably we need to pass X. That means true. It's a key column. Or what is the alternative? ABAP underscore true.
True.
Next. What are the other? If you want to make it as a checkbox, pass checkbox. When you start using the field catalog, right? If you don't populate selection text, it won't display anything. When you are start using field catalog, it is mandatory to populate the field catalog structure, because when you use field catalog, it will bypass standard selection text from the work area. It won't consider the text anymore and it will display blank if you don't pass the text in the field catalog. Okay, that's why it is mandatory. If you want to customize any fields, you should populate the text. For example, you don't want to change the selection text, but you just want to make it as a key column. That's why you are building the field catalog and you are not populating the text. What will happen? In the report output, the columns report headings will be blank. It won't display anything. It will display the blank. That's why when you start using the field catalog, right? So it will bypass the standard way of selecting the field selection text. That's why we need to populate this field catalog text. That is mandatory. What is a long text? Sales order number. Since it's a character type, I am passing in the single quotes. Medium text, sales order. Short text, I'll populate like this. Sales hash. Okay. What are the other properties? I don't want the rest of the properties. Okay. There are many other properties, but these are mandatory. Field name is mandatory. Field name is mandatory. And selection text is mandatory when you are start using field catalog. Now what we need to do? Append
Append.
work area to internal table.
Final.
Clear? What will happen if you don't clear? The previous
Will
values, right?
populate incorrect entries.
Incorrect entries. Let's assume. Now, what is the next column? I want to display next column as item number. What is a field for item number? If you want to see what are the fields available in the final output structure, you can go to this corresponding structure. This one, right? Z demo sales. POSNR in the structure, it is in the 5th position, but I want to display it in the 2nd position, right? So for that reason, I'm using field catalog and I'll use column position as 2 for this POSNR. Field name is POSNR. Let's assume I'm not clearing the previous value and I'm not using key column here. I don't want to use key column here. Am I clearing the previous record in the work area? No, right? I've commented it. I'm not clearing it. Then what will happen? This key property will also be
Next
applied
column.
to 2nd column also, because we are not populating that value, right? If you are populating here, it will overwrite like this. If you are populating here like false, it will overwrite the previous value with the new value. Since you are not passing here, the previous value whatever available in the work area will be applicable to the 2nd column, 2nd record also. That's why we should always clear the work area before appending the 2nd record. Okay, this should continue for every record. Okay, and I'll change the selection text item item and I'll use emphasize option here. Instead of key column, I'll use emphasize. You can observe the difference between key and emphasize. Emphasize. Even though they have taken it as character 4, I think we need to pass ABAP true or false. Okay, X value. Continue, same for all the columns, whatever you want to display. How many columns are there in the structure? I think 7 columns, right? That doesn't mean that you need to display all the columns. You can hide any unnecessary columns by using field catalog. If you don't build field catalog record for that specific column, it won't display in the output. Okay. I want to display next column as material number. Position is 3. I don't want to emphasize this. I will change the text. Material number. Material number. Okay, like this. What is the next column available in our structure? Customer and AUART. I don't want to display the rest of the fields like AUART and ERDate. I just want to display only these 4 columns. So I'll build field catalog for only these columns. I'll comment the selection text so that you can observe the difference. What will happen if you don't maintain the selection text? Owner is the field name. Make sure the field name is in the uppercase. Make sure the field name is in uppercase. Column position is 4. I'm not populating the selection text, short or medium. Now what we need to do? We need to pass this field catalog internal table to function module. Okay. I'll remove this and call again. Call the function module after field catalog. Pattern. Grid display. We don't need structure and all these details. What we need? We need field catalog importing parameter. That's it, and keep the table. For field catalog parameter, what we need to pass? The field catalog internal table name. So we collected all the column records into this field catalog internal table. For the output tab, what we need to pass? Sales order, output, final data, whatever the final data available. Okay. So here, whatever the records we appended to the field catalog structure, this internal table final output structure may not be matched, right? In this final output, we might have 10 columns, but in field catalog, we might have build field catalog for the only 4 columns, right? So that is how we can customize our report output. Okay, there are 10 columns in the internal table. That doesn't mean that you need to display all of them. That's why I'm customizing using a field catalog option. Activate the program, execute the program. I'll keep a breakpoint at ALV report function module. How many records we have appended? 4 records. So we have populated only required fields. If you observe for material, if you observe for customer, right, we did not populate the selection text. Now execute the ALV report. So why sales order is displaying in blue color? Because we marked it as a key column. If you expand this, it will automatically display long description. If you decrease the width, it will automatically display short description, which we are using in the program, which we are using in the field catalog, not from the data element. Okay. And same for the sales order, sales item. Why it is displaying in a different color? Because we have used
Emphasize.
emphasize. Okay. Emphasize option. So that's why it is highlighted in this color. Okay. Why there is no selection text or report header for this customer column?
We did not mention
We
any
did not mention the report heading text. So when we are start using field catalog, it will bypass the standard functionality of reading from data element. Okay. So that's why when we are using report text, we should populate. So it is optional. You don't need to always populate all these three. You can either populate short, medium or long. Okay. But if you populate all these three, it will automatically display when you expand it. When the depends on the data, it will display the long or shorter, long, medium descriptions automatically. Customer number, customer, customer number. So activate it. Now I'll do one thing. I'll comment clear statements here. After item data, I'm not clearing the work area. Then what will happen? Let's execute. Execute. It is emphasizing rest of the columns also, right? Sales order item,
yes, sir.
material and customer. But observe the field catalog. Are we emphasizing the material? Are we passing that field here? Emphasize field.
No.
We are not doing it for customer. We are not doing it for material. But why these are emphasizing? Because
We,
we have used emphasize property for item data and we are not clearing that, right? So the previous value is populating for the next record also. That's why we should always clear the work area so that previous values will not populate to the new record. This is same one in the loop also. When you are looping the internal tables, you need to clear the work areas. F8. So this is your report output. Okay. Is everyone clear? This is how you can customize your report output using field catalog. There are many more options in the field catalog. We have subtotal options, we have sum options, we have icons option. You can change a specific field into icon. For example, customer, I'll populate one field, one property. It is checkbox field is there, right, in the field catalog. Where is it? Yeah, this one, checkbox. Checkbox equal to ABAP underscore true. Now check the output. Activate. Remove the breakpoint. Save. F8. How this field is being displayed in the output? As a checkbox, right? If you want to display any value as a checkbox, you can display. For example, there is one field in the sales order data, yes or no. Okay. that column populate yes or no. So instead of displaying yes or no, you can display that column as a checkbox, and if the value is yes, you can populate the checkbox with tick mark. If value is no, you can keep the checkbox blank. You can do that. Okay, clear? I'll comment this checkbox property. You can also display it as an icon. There is icon field, right? Icon. You can also display any specific field as a icon. Okay. So try these different properties available in the field catalog. We need to use same field catalog declaration for every ALV report. Okay. Once you are aware of declaring the field catalog and populating it, right, the concept is same for any ALV report. Only column names will be different. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear? Sometimes we forgot to change the column positions. We use the same value as a column position for second record also. Then what will happen? Execute. It's not throwing any error. It is displaying as per the order of the field catalog records. Okay. So instead of this hard coded text, what we need to use when you are building the
Text
field
symbol.
catalog? Text symbol. Instead of this field name, hard coded text, what we need to use? Instead of hard coding the field name, what is the alternative we have? Text symbol won't work here. Okay, text symbol is not going to work. You need to use the constant for field names. It is not a free text, right? So text symbol is not going to work here. For field names, you need to define a constant. What is the type of that constant? Double click on the field name or go to the field catalog, and what is the type of this field name? Slice field name. This is the type char 30, right? Slice field name is the type. Copy this slice field name and define a constant. Value matter. This is how we need to define constant for each field name. Data type is same for all the constants. Only value will be different. Value and the constant names will be different. So instead of this hard coded text, pass it like this. Okay. Instead of text symbol, sorry, instead of hard coded text, pass the text symbol here. Create different text symbols and pass the text symbols here. Okay. Is everyone clear on field catalog? So in the next session, we'll see interactive reports. I told you, right, there is one option called hotspot. I'll just show you how it will look like. I think this field should be available in field catalog. ABAP true. I'm making it as ABAP true. Activate. Execute the report. Observe the difference. I've added hotspot for customer. How it is displaying? With a underline. A hand symbol is displaying, right? That means user can understand that this is an interactive option where, right, they can click on this to navigate to the next level output, right? For the rest of the fields, it is not displaying that hand symbol. So we are uh, displaying it as a hyperlink, right? User can easily understand that they can click on this to display the next level data. But we did not implement the functionality to display the next level data. We just added the hotspot. That is a prerequisite. Adding hotspot is a prerequisite, right? So next, in the next session, we'll see when user click on this any specific value, what should happen, right? What is the next level data we need to display? That's we called as interactive reports. We'll see that in the next session. Any questions?